Welcome back, YouTube. You started this series with a dream and an empty space. Hopefully, you've been following along and putting each episode to use. Let's recap where we've been. Episode 1. We measured your shop space and figured out what you're working with. Episode 2. We built your first workbench. Episode 3. We added lighting and electricity so you can see what you're doing and power your tools. Episode 4. We tackled storage, vertical storage, making the best use of every inch and choosing storage types based on the materials you'll be keeping. Episode 5. We talked about buying your first tool set, avoiding the traps, getting the essentials, and making smart choices. And now, here we are. You're geared up. You've got your space. You've got your tools. You're ready to build your very first project. Since you've already spent so much time and money getting your shop set up, you probably don't have a big budget left for project materials. That's fine. In fact, it's perfect. Your first project should be low cost, simple, and functional. Something that's going to make your shop better right away. So I thought, what could that project be? I wanted something that's useful every day, something that makes my workflow smoother. And I landed on a socket holder, a way to sort and organize SAE and metric sockets so I can grab exactly what I need, fast. The simplest version? A 2x4, nails in a row, sockets hanging off the nails. Metric on one side, SAE on the other. Functional, yes. But let's be honest, any kid with a hammer could make that in 10 minutes. So I decided to dress it up. Make it more than just a board with nails. First, I found a length of 2x4 that would fit perfectly on my tool cart. I sanded it smooth, rounded the edges, and got it looking clean. Then I painted the whole thing black, a good base coat to make the colors pop later. One side of the rack would be for SAE, the other for metric. I wanted each side color-coded. But here's the catch. Some tool makers use blue for SAE and red for metric. Others swap it, red for SAE, blue for metric. That's confusing. So I went with what matches my socket set. Red for SAE, blue for metric. That's the color scheme I'll see in my shop every day, and that's the one I'll remember. I also wanted my MG101 logo, front and center, but I don't have printer ink, so I traced the logo right off my computer monitor onto paper, cut it out as a stencil, and taped it to the board. I went through a process of spraying one color, letting it dry, masking it off, spraying the next color, and repeating until it came together. When I pulled the stencil, the logo looked good, but it didn't pop like I wanted. So I decided to outline it with bright fluorescent green. I didn't have the perfect paint or the right brush for that detail work, but I made it happen anyway. Next, I cut simple stencils for the words SAE and metric. On the SAE side, I sprayed the letters in red. On the metric side, I sprayed them in blue. Now there's no doubt which socket goes where. When all the paint was dry, I gave the board a clear polyurethane coat for protection. And here's the thing, you don't rush this step. Poly needs a day or two to fully cure before you start banging tools around on it. Once the clear coat's hardened, it's time for the functional part. I laid out my sockets in size order, smallest to largest, on both sides. I marked where each nail should go, then hammered them in, keeping everything straight and evenly spaced. When the last nail was in place, I slid each socket onto its spot. It instantly looked like a pro shop upgrade, organized, labeled, and color-coded. You can mount it on the wall, keep it on a bench, or set it on a shelf. It's small enough to move around, but sturdy enough to last for years. And here's the beauty. If a socket goes missing, you'll see the empty nail right away and know exactly which one it was. So, there you have it, your first project. It's simple, it's low cost, and it's 100% yours. You made it with your tools, in your shop, with your own hands. And that brings us to the end of our 6-part Garage Setup 101 series. Think about what you've done since episode 1. You went from an empty space to a fully functional shop. You learned how to plan your layout, build a bench, install lighting and power, organize your tools, and choose your first tool set. Now you've put it all into action by building something functional and personal. From here, it's all about building your skills. Tackle more projects. Push yourself a little further each time. Because the more you build, the more confident you get. And the better your shop will serve you. I'm Sparky. Thanks for coming along on this journey. Now the shop is yours. Go make something amazing. Sparky out.